Hi, Graham from Concept Music again, and today I'm going to go through some specifics of buying a second-hand flute. You may have seen my earlier video which we talk about second-hand instruments and their values in general, but now I'd like to look specifically at the flute. Flute's a beautiful instrument. There are a few things you need to look out for. Obviously the most important thing is that it works, that it plays. So if you've got your child with you, get them to play it, get them to test it and see if it works. If it all works well and the low notes are easy to get, the chances are the instrument is okay to buy. Things to look out for specifically would be, just as I've said in the earlier video, look at the overall condition of the instrument, see if it's got a lot of dents or scratches. If it's got a lot of dents in the head joint, it's something to look out for. It doesn't mean it can't be repaired, but you'd want to just check that. If it's got dents, it may not assemble, for instance. So make sure you assemble it. Don't just look at it, put it together. Make sure the flute head joint and the foot joint are nice and tight, but not too tight. Make sure they don't have any dents. And you might even look down the instrument and see if it's straight. Now that sounds like a weird thing to say, but you probably wouldn't believe how many flutes that I've seen secondhand that people have bought off Gumtree or bought off eBay, and they've bought them in and they've actually got a big curve in them, and they bring them in for servicing, say it doesn't quite play properly, and they've been sat on. So flutes are the sort of thing you can probably imagine. Put it on the bed, somebody comes in, sits on it, still looks sort of okay. Look down the flute is one of the things I always do to see if it's nice and straight. Other than that, look to see if it's shiny, look to see if it looks in good condition. Everything seems to work okay. If you can play it and you can play the low notes, you're off to a good start. What should you pay for one? Flutes, a brand new Yamaha flute, bearing in mind it comes with a 5-year warranty, and also bearing in mind if you do need to get dents repaired or you need to get it serviced, you're looking at a minimum of $100, and that's if all the pads are okay. So if it's a very old flute, just be a little bit cautious. If you can look at the pads and you can see that they've got holes in or they're worn, my advice would be steer away from it. A flute that needs new pads put through completely, you're looking at about $350 to strip it down, replace all the pads and corks and springs. So it's an expensive repair. So even if it looks okay, but it's very old and you can see the pads are very worn, you've got to be a bit careful. And of course, the fact that people will say, oh, it hasn't been played much, if it's been sitting around the case for a long time, sometimes insects get in, specifically I'm talking silverfish, that get in and can eat the felt out of the pads. So even though the instrument might look brand new, it may need to be fully repadded, and that's a very expensive and time-consuming process. So factor that in, but if it's less than a few years old, it looks in good condition, you're good to go, particularly with the Yamaha. They've got a 5-year warranty new, so less than 5 years old, $700 or $800 for a brand new one, $400 to $500 for a good second-hand one. So look at it, check it for dents, check it for scratches, make sure it's straight, and you're good to go.